StarCraft 2's WCS Europe Premier League quarterfinals. This is the round of 8, doesn't matter how you splice it up. It's the last 8 alive in Europe for Season 2. Joined by Kalaris now, who is going to take us through a little bit of an intro on match number 3. Before we get there, though, let's just show you the bracket. If you're just joining us, for instance, if you're just waking up or, I don't know, just going to bed, matches 1 and 2 already done. Where were you? You should have been here to watch. They weren't the most classic games, it has to be said. However, MMA and MC both through to the semi-finals. The good news is at least we have a Terran in there, at least from my point of view. At the bottom half of the bracket, we're about to get into NaNiwa and duckdeok, and then Vortex versus Grubby in the bottom half of the bracket to find out the other semi-final tomorrow afternoon. Don't forget we have the 5th, 6th place matches tomorrow as well. And let's get into this first game. Let's throw it up on the screen right now. It's the versus match between the two. NaNiwa versus duckdeok. NaNiwa with a flawless record so far through round of 32 and round of 16. Been absolutely dominant. duckdeok's got an interesting story though, hasn't he? I mean, lost that one game against Welmu, who we just saw go out. But other than that, he's beaten Dimaga, he's beaten Stefano, and he's beaten Lucifron. But the key for him is he has a similar kind of story to Welmu in a way, doesn't he? Because Welmu, we know he came from nowhere to round of 8, and his achievement this season is already very good. duckdeok, from my memory anyway, hasn't been past the round of 32 anywhere other than NASL 4, and that's it. That's it, his entire career. So, similar story. Tell me about him.
Yeah, you're right. For finale or duckdeok, going through Premier and Challenger through Season 1, the qualification process was a long process for him indeed. Very, very similar to Welmu, trying time and time again and never really being able to attain those heights in Season 1. But then throughout the Challenger, rising on up into Season 2 here, extremely, if not almost identical to Welmu, as those two kind of went along with one another. And then, as we saw in the round of 16, Welmu did defeat him, but he's taken out some very, very strong names here. And the thing is that when he was in the round of 32 and having to choose because he had a bit of limitation on him, in the round of 16, he really showed us how he can play properly, although in NaNiwa, that's a strong contender.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing for me is that we've talked about the similarities between Welmu and duckdeok. The other similarity is that they're both matched up as PvPs against great players in the round of 8, and we've already seen how badly that went for Welmu. I mean, I don't really want a full prediction from you, but do you see similarities in the way that this match could go as well?
There certainly could be, and whilst I wouldn't mind seeing NaNiwa having now, he has the best opportunity to advance on and win the whole thing with people that are out like MVP, like Stefano gone. He has the opportunity to do very, very well. But duckdeok's going to be a bit of a roadblock. Whilst NaNiwa's PvP is pretty darn good, duckdeok's is as well, and he's shown that again and again.
But NaNiwa says his PvP's not great. I mean, is that just mind games before the match, or...?
No, I mean, we'll see. Right. It's going to be down to the wire, I think. I would probably give duckdeok the slight advantage in that regard. His PvP is really, really good.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it there for the moment. Let's introduce you to the players. Not that this man needs much introduction, but he's been there, he's seen it, he's done it. But let's find out what his round of 16 was all about. Here's NaNiwa.
My name is Johan Lucchesi. I'm 23 years old. I play for Team Alliance. I play Protoss.
Fantastic force fields actually seal off a lot of those Hydralisks from doing anything at the back. Oh, they get absolutely melted.
If I were to describe my playstyle, it's very timing focused. I like to abuse a lot of timings where I see my opponent is weak and I'm strong, and just try to take advantage of that and get a very easy win or a big advantage.
Force fields once again, just separating these units off from the front to back, and these Void Rays are going to tear through this once again. Very, very nice play by NaNiwa.
Representing the country is, of course, a big honor to me. I'm very proud to be from Sweden, especially as I'm the #1 player from there.
Is NaNiwa going to be able to hold on? High teleport at the back, still have Storm.
Yeah, they do. They throw one down here, trying to kill off some of the bio as well as the Vikings, and do get quite a few of them here. The Viking count is only at 1.
What the training does for me in Korea is that I see the latest meta game. Like, I see all the trends before the Koreans show it in Europe and America, so I'm always like at the first step. So like, I've seen a lot of strategies that these players have not seen yet, that they will see and fall to against Koreans in the global finals.
And looks like NaNiwa, he's just going to go for it here. Oh, he gets a good hit on some of those ghosts. In fact, they don't go down so quickly there. NaNiwa may have ended up just focusing those with the storms as well. NaNiwa crushing through this army. GG!
Well played.
I just want to play the best I can in every single match I have. As long as I bring out my best, it's okay for me if I lose, but if not, it's not okay, obviously.
So that's NaNiwa, and as we pointed out earlier on in the programme and during the week, couldn't get past round 16 in Season 1. Yeah, here he is as one of the final 8 in Season 2. Globally, though, this season he's been performing fantastically well. He's already picked himself up a tournament win, and he's been in Korea for the last few months, which he told us has made a real difference to him. And we've seen that before with other players.
Yeah. I mean, aside from the wealth of knowledge that he's gained from Korea, a lot of people would say that a lot of that has gone into his PVZ. But again, we can't down his PvP here. And this weekend, if he's able to advance on forwards and then either meet a Protoss or a Zerg in Grubby or Vortex, it could be a very good weekend for the Alliance in more ways than one.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking of Korea, his matchup is against a Korean, so that won't scare him too much. And no matter what you want to read into it, is his PvP decent or not, we're going to find out before too long. But before we do that, let's introduce you to a man who is not as well known as perhaps he should be. We've tried to get something out of him. Let's see what we can find out about duckdeok.
안녕하세요. 저는 MVP팀 19살 김경덕입니다. 국적은 대한민국이고요.
Stefano and duckdeok.
duckdeok, one of the oldest StarCraft 2 players actually when it comes to having experience. He's played from the very beginning, and he does pick up map number 1 quite easily.
저 볼 때는 스테파노 선수가 같이 포함되어 있어서 굉장히 당황했어요. 근데 이렇게 2대0으로 이기고 비록 마지막 라운드에서 올라갔지만 만족해요.
Stefano is being dismantled here by duckdeok. And there you go, GG. duckdeok takes the first series 2-0.
저는 수비적인 걸 좋아하는데 가끔 뜬금없는 타이밍에 나가는 걸 굉장히 좋아해요.
One of them goes down. Will the second one actually fall as well here? SCB's tanking a lot of damage. The Colossus have actually fallen.
Lucifron.
Army supplies 60-30. Lucifron here breaching the natural. He's moving down the cliff here. If his DPS is enough here, he lifts the Vikings, but there's not enough on the ground for Lucifron. duckdeok is held. duckdeok is
What a
holding.
hold. I mean, I didn't think that was possible. And it
He does. duckdeok wins.
이번 WCS는 저번 시즌 우승자인 정종현 선수도 떨어지고 제가 우승할 수 있을 것 같아요.
So there is duckdeok, currently the youngest player in WCS EU. Slipped through the cracks into round of 16 and now has his chance to display his skill. You heard him in the interview there, Kalaris. He said he can win the whole thing. That's fighting talk right there against a player who we know can definitely win the whole thing in NaNiwa.
I think the strengths of duckdeok really do rely on his unpredictability. Being able to swing from one style to the next is something that is duckdeok's specialty, I feel.
And yet he says he's defensive, and I don't think we necessarily agree with that, do we?
I mean, he's had defensive moments, but there's been a lot of aggression for him that has been executed very, very nicely. Although, again, we can't discount the fact of that insane hold at the very end against Lucifron that did propel him to this round. So he's got a lot of strength across all the matchups, and again, it's the unpredictability factor, I think, for him.
All right. Okay, we are ready for our third semi-final of the day. Where have you been all day? You've missed 2. Luckily, you're here for match number 3. This one is going to be a cracker as well. It's NaNiwa versus duckdeok. Is there going to be a war cry at the end of this or a quack? We'll find out shortly. It's time to go over to your commentary team of Apollo and Todd.
Wow, thank you, Red Eye. Awesome outro there as we prepare ourselves for this next quarter-final in another excellent PvP. Being a Protoss player yourself, an expert in this matchup, do you have any thoughts on these two players and how we could see this shape up?
I feel like this matchup is a lot more of a mystery than any other matchup because NaNiwa, he was in Korea for a month, so did he completely change his style? Is he still playing the same but just a little bit better? It's hard to say. Whereas Finale, he's only played Wellmu before, and those games, although they weren't that convincing, he showed some good things. And we haven't seen many games of him versus Protoss, so...
Yeah, I think
a
it's
big mystery here for me.
It really is, because NaNiwa has been in Korea for the last 6 weeks or so. We don't know how he plays. Like he said in his interview, he's going to bring a lot of new stuff to this tournament that we have not seen. So it is difficult to predict. And when duckdeok played a PvP against Wellmu, all he did was 3-gate Stargate every game and was able to pick up the series victory. So, he lost versus Wellmu there. But still, I mean... anything's possible.
He was extremely aggressive versus Wellmu, and he just said in his interview that he likes to play defensive. So
yeah.
I wonder if he meant defensive probably in all matchups, because in PvP so far he's been attacking pretty much all the time.
Yeah, and we do see Neoplanet vetoed out here, and we'll see what gets vetoed out by duckdeok.
Try to read lips, man.
Did you do it?
No, you.
Oh, me? He said it in Korean. Red City. What do you think about these two maps being knocked out, the 7 maps we have in front of us?
I think Red City is not played too much. It's not in every tournament, so usually a lot of pro gamers will veto it, so that's perfectly fine. Then Neoplanet is one of the standard maps. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised that they veto it, but sometimes, it just comes down to maybe one of the players, NaNiwa in this case, lost recently a little bit too much on this map in PvP and maybe lost his confidence. That could be just that.
I mean, you know NaNiwa as a player for a very long time, Warcraft 3 into StarCraft 2. Do you think his style could maybe help us predict on how he's going to play this series out? Even though we don't know his builds and strategies?
From the StarCraft 2 experience, yeah, but Warcraft, I mean, he wasn't really famous enough for me to know him in Warcraft.
That's right, man. That's right. You are Todd.
I actually tease him a lot about this.
That's kind of funny. I hope
Did they veto Derelict?
No, it was only 1 veto each, those 2 maps, Neoplanet S and the other one that we saw.
Oh, yeah.
Red City.
Yeah.
Just 5 maps left, best of 5 here.
I'm a little bit surprised. Derelict is one of the newer maps and one of the least appreciated map by Protosses usually, but then again, it's mirror, so I mentioned it before, it all comes down to personal preference.
I think one big weakness, or the weakness of NaNiwa, is absolutely his mentality coming into this series. I think on a good day, he is a tournament-winning player, but I think that day it could be today. These next few days, he's not feeling bad at all. He's comfortable. There's been no complaints on Twitter in the last 24 hours, Todd. So I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I asked him about it before. I asked him about the setup here, because personally, I mean, I've never played here in the round of 16 or further, obviously, but. When I come here, I see the chairs that I think are the best for gaming, the best monitors, and just the desk looks really nice. It's air conditioned. What else do you want? I mean, I really want to try and play here because I really think I could give my very best here. This is the best tournament and playing conditions that I've seen, actually.
And everybody wants to be a winner. Everybody wants to be a winner here. duckdeok, as mentioned in his interview too, he's been around since the beginning. He was actually in the second. So the GSL Open 2010, I think it was called back then. And he's been around, he's been in and out of Code A, but had a stunt in Code S. Nothing mainstream though. I think one of his big times that everyone started to realize who he was within the GSTL. He started to pick up wins and stuff for his team, helping out. Especially, I think everyone was like, oh God, MVP Finale's coming out. He's a great Protoss player, can really pick off some of the key opponents from some of his teams. But now he's really having, if not his deepest run in an individual tournament for the first time.
Yeah, he was okay in solo leagues. He was in Code S for some time, but it was really in team leagues that he was shining the most. And now he's finally having his breakthrough in some of the solo leagues here. And going this far already in this tournament, now he's going to be up against NaNiwa, against whom I really feel like he has a serious shot at going into the semifinals.
Yeah, this is going to be a good series. Remember, best of 5. The winner of this will represent Europe in the Season 2 finals. Not too long away now. So, let's begin. Up here in the top right, playing for Team Alliance, it is NaNiwa. Of course, representing Sweden. And representing the non-Koreans here today. There's not too many of them left. And down here in the bottom left from Korea, playing for Team MVP, it is duckdeok.
You know, I was on the bus, the shuttle this morning with Finale on the way here. It was just me and him, so I took the time to talk a little bit to him and I asked him what he thought about NaNiwa. And he just smiled and said, easy. So I asked him for a score prediction. And he smiled and he laughed
3-0?
and he said 3-0.
Oh. A lot of Koreans say that. I don't know if to believe him or not.
I don't know. Like, he looked very sincere. He looked like he really believed it. Obviously, as a pro gamer going deep into those tournaments, you need to believe that you can do it. But he really looked like he was actually very confident going in against NaNiwa in this match.
I mean, we really haven't seen duckdeok play a PvP out at all properly yet, because the games against Wellmuse were so short, so aggressive, and we didn't really get to see his proper skills here. So I am very interested to see what he's going to bring to the table. Of course, in the round of 16, 2-0, making it look easy versus Stefano, and then he did drop that game versus Wellmuse before closing out a series against Lucifron, one of the scariest Terran players in Europe. But now it's time to complete the hat trick of all the different matchups against NaNiwa.
And both players opening with 2 quick guesses. Whoa, NaNiwa actually going quite far out of his base with the probe that scouted for proxies here. This might be for... Whoa, second pylon. I've seen NaNiwa do this before at his expansion versus Terran, so that he will fool the Terran into thinking he's proxying something. But this time I really think he's going to proxy something.
Yeah, he's straight into both of his gases with 6 probes immediately, mining as much gas as he could bring in. This surely must be a Twilight Council being so far away from duckdeok's base.
No, I think Stargate, because he made the second pylon. Like, the best way to go for Dark Templars usually will be to make the Twilight in your main and then to make the Dark Shrine outside on the map. I think pretty good chance this is going to be a Stargate, but it could be a Twilight Council here, actually.
Is it not too far away, though? I mean, the Oracle, if it was to be an Oracle, is quite a long way away from getting to duckdeok's base.
Yeah, but the point is not to have your opponent find it, I think, more rather than to be super close.
All right, we'll find out. So far, duckdeok's only scouted around his natural and does put a Stargate down of his own. NaNiwa,
wow.
Twilight Council.
Nice call, man.
So, these two, how do they shape up against each other, though? Stargate versus Twilight?
It depends what NaNiwa goes for, but obviously, in this situation, you prefer be on the Twilight side of things. But we've seen before what a Stargate can do if you're not ready and if you're out of position during MC versus Wellmuse on Star Station.
And let's talk a little bit about duckdeok Stargate. Is this what is it for? What's the purposes of the Stargate? It's not proxied, it's not aggressive. Is it just for a single Oracle here? Does he somehow build a Phoenix, which may be a little bit crazy here potentially?
Usually it's almost always an Oracle into something, or you can transition, but duckdeok, we've seen him go for Phoenixes before in some of the previous games, so I think Phoenix or Oracle, anything's possible here. The thing is, he doesn't have a sentry to scout. He's not going to be scouting anytime soon. Yeah, it is an Oracle, but I mean, how is he going to be ready for those Dark Templars there?
That's the big question here, is NaNiwa does ask for a pause, so we will keep things quiet here in case that headset does come off, because this is a very high-pressured situation. So we'll be a little bit careful about this, as he is saying he could potentially hear some mumbling. I don't think he'd be able to hear the cast properly. It's definitely mumbling rather than anything else. But I mean, let's not talk about too much right now.
What can we talk about?
I know, I was about to say, let's actually address the situation. Life's great, man.
How's settling down in Germany?
Yeah, it's getting there. I don't have a kitchen yet. It's pretty crap, that. I have to eat out a lot, and I'm starting to put on a bit of weight, so that's the worst part about being here.
Tell me about it.
Germans do love kebab, though. There's a lot of kebab places here, Todd. There's a lot of them.
Whoa, and duckdeok is throwing down the robo. Somehow he wants to play it very safe, I guess. Since he has the mothership core to use the photon overcharge very early on, he feels safe back at home. I mean, worst comes to worst, he just cancels the Nexus and then he has to hold in his main. He's getting the second gateway. So, I mean, he's doing this very, very well here, but I don't think he's going to be early enough. Look, the Dark Shrine is 20 seconds away from finishing.
And if the Oracle is pushed away by the Stalkers, he may not even be able to get a scout at all here. It really depends on how this is, how far that Oracle goes in.
But, I mean, he's going to see 2 gateways and 1 late robo. Now he has to know that something is up now. Like at this point in the game, if you look at duckdeok's base, and considering he's getting an expansion, and then you look at NaNiwa's, you're almost always going to be able to realize that something is up and wrong.
Oh! Oracle escapes there, 1 hit away. But now the question is, so we've seen the Oracle come in, it's got a kill, it's scouted out, and an observer's already there.
Yeah, and no Dark Templar has been warped in. NaNiwa was only on 1 gateway here, ready to warp in Dark Templars. That's a huge mistake. You're supposed to be on at least 2 gateways. Oh, duckdeok is not going to leave his base with the observer.
Well, this has been spotted. And this is obviously not very good here for NaNiwa. His complete tech choice early on in this game has been pushed back, and the DT can't go in for now. And, you know, unfortunately for NaNiwa, duckdeok has an expansion above his opponent. You know, I mean, we can clearly see for a lot of new people here that one didn't work, the other hasn't really done anything, but because duckdeok's got this natural, he must be in quite a big lead in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what I was talking about. Going into Twilight against Stargate is supposedly good for the Twilight, but now, because of the series of events that happened and the way duckdeok is executed his build, I feel like he's very far ahead. He's mining on 2 bases, 35 probes to 30. NaNiwa's expansion, I mean, he's not even near finished. He's going to be getting a forge behind this, whereas duckdeok gets his own forge as well, and he's going for the Dark Shrine.
Yeah, what do you think about this?
He saw the robo, so I'm a little bit surprised. He might try to deny the scouting with his own observer in his base and try to trick his opponent. I don't know, maybe he warps in stalkers across the map, use the oracle to snipe the observer and then...
I don't know, man, that's some high-level play right there. But the hallucinated Phoenix from NaNiwa is about to enter his opponent's base, and if he picks up this Twilight Council... Ooh! Well, he picks up the Twilight Council, of course, but he doesn't spot the Dark Shrine
he's gonna see
yet.
it.
Alright, so he sees it.
Yeah.
And in NaNiwa's position, alright, so your opponent's opted for the Dark Shrine here instead of whatever else it could have been, whether it be the Robotics Bay, whether it be the Templar Archives. How does NaNiwa feel against this? Surely it must feel pretty good?
I mean, you're okay, but there is a lot of room for messing up if you're not careful. So NaNiwa is not going to gamble. He's going to play it very safe. He starts a photon cannon in his mineral line, in his main immediately. And duckdeok has done this very well. He's made a warp prism. He's going to go for the Dark Templar drop. Maybe he will warp outside and he will try to basically time one Dark Templar in the natural and one in the main at the same time. But NaNiwa, he can just stand in his natural with his observer and he's going to have the cannon in the main, so he should be perfectly safe against this.
What do you think about the extra 5 gateways being added on here for duckdeok? Does that increase him up to 7, 8 gateways? Is that not high?
I think at this point in the game it's standard because look at his income. He's got so many probes. He's going to have a lot of money. He needs to spend it. One gateway is only 150 minerals. So even if you don't use those gateways, it's better to be safe in this case. Whoa, Dark Templar.
Dark T got Dark Templar did Dark T. DT there, DT, Mr.
Dark
T.
Todd.
Dark Todd. Dark Todd goes in there, gets a couple of kills. And this one not quite as successful, but still can always just retreat.
Oh, the warp prism, leaving a man behind.
Well, that's not very nice.
NaNiwa, he still has his Twilight Council. He's not using it just yet. We see duckdeok actually going for a charge. I really like this. We saw charge being used in the last game of Wellmu versus MC, and it's obviously very, very good. I like it a lot better than Blink. What about you?
Yeah, I'm a... If you didn't know, Todd, Charge is my favorite upgrade.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, it's my favorite upgrade, man. I love Charge.
But you play...
sorry?
Don't you play random or like...
I play everything, man.
So when you play, like, it's your favorite
always...
upgrade overall?
Yeah, I get Charge before +1 every game.
Okay, you get charged with your Marines.
Yeah.
You get Terran.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I wish I had Charge for my Marines.
Wouldn't it be sick?
Yeah. I wish my Roaches could have Charge too. All right, so in this game, duckdeok is 20 supply in the lead. How far behind is NaNiwa, and what do you think NaNiwa needs to do to get back into it? We can see the numbers there. He's a little bit behind in economy, a little bit, well, quite a bit behind in his army.
Yeah, I think he needs to keep doing what he's been sending across the map, which is the hallucinated phoenixes, to make sure he spots any kind of transition out of his opponent. He needs to get as much army as he can and then try and secure himself a third, but it doesn't look like duckdeok wants to let this happen. Whoa, if NaNiwa goes up the ramp, he could get force fielded out.
Oh, he spots this, he does see it, Photon Overcharge is activated here. A couple of force fields do come down, trying to zone out those Immortals. Good defense here by the Swede. He is also being harassed inside his main base with a DT, which is the reason why he popped up to the main base to try and push that away, but of course the threat on the natural with 2 Archons coming in, a bunch of Zealots too. Is NaNiwa in trouble?
I mean, this is not... Oh, whoa, duckdeok is going for it. He has an Archon actually moving while morphing.
Well, this one Immortal is kind of squished against that force field. It's not going to get anywhere. 2 Immortals are in trouble as well. And now duckdeok is in a superior position here. He's going to be able to focus down the natural. And as this falls down, NaNiwa is in a bunch of trouble. 77 supply to 108. And duckdeok has a third behind this as well. duckdeok just, well, takes the game. And NaNiwa, GG.
That was super play here by duckdeok. He read the game perfectly from the start. His build order, I have to say, it was quite risky, but in PvP at this level, you have to take risks. Going for 1 gateway, then 1 Stargate, and 1 Robo, I mean, you die to a lot of things. He did do some scouting, and he adapted very, very well to everything that was happening, basically. The best case scenario here for NaNiwa, opening with the Twilight Council against the Stargate, would probably be to go for 3 gates, blink or something, pressure, or even 4 gates all in, but then he wouldn't have had the detection most likely. So, I mean, you have to take risks, and this time it turned out better for Finale, but I do feel like regardless of that, he played better overall.
Do you think that, I mean, if to summarize game 1, was it the tech choices that just was able to give duckdeok what he needed to pick up the victory towards the end?
It really helped in start of the game, but NaNiwa's execution, I have to say, wasn't great. Remember, he had only 1 gateway up when his Dark Shrine finished.
Yeah.
And when his Dark Shrine finished, he waited like 20 or 30 seconds before finally warping in the first Dark Templar, which is, I mean, at this point, when you invest this much into a tech, you needed to do at least a minimum of damage, and now it did nothing.
All right, well, we're about to jump into map number 2. It is Belshire Vestige. Any words of encouragement you think that NaNiwa should look towards if you were to be Coach Todd?
No, I think NaNiwa, I mean, we've seen him in the previous season struggling to play his best and complaining about it sometimes as well. So that's why I think this season he's just focused on trying to play his best, and that's what he should keep aiming to try and do. We've seen him struggle against Tefel the first game, remember, and then he pulled through in the next 2 ones. So here he still has a shot at making it, and if he composes himself and plays his best, I do think he's gonna have a good chance as well.
A lot of people expecting NaNiwa to win this series. We'll see if he can make the comeback, as he is trailing 1 game at the moment as we jump into this next map here on Belshire Vestige. And as up in the top left is the red red Protoss, excuse me. It is Alliance NaNiwa. Gotta stay focused, gotta stay calm here as he moves into map number 2 against this guy, who is leading at this moment. In the bottom right, it is the blue Protoss. It is MVP duckdeok.
Looking very calm.
I reckon his alias should be Quack Quack. No? No?
It reminds me of the jokes with Nesty's name. His Lim J-Duck or something.
Oh yeah, his last name's...
And Maka was Hanel Quack. One day, Maka played against Nesty and Artosis asked, what came first, the duck or the quack?
Wow. Wow. I would love duckdeok to meet Day 9 as well for the Season 1 finals. There was a question that was going around, do you prefer to be a duck or a goose? That would be a difficult one for duckdeok to answer, or it may be very straightforward.
And okay, he scouts very early on for the proxies here. I think that's okay. NaNiwa, he didn't even bother. Actually, he cleaned the indoors, the inside of his base, making sure there is no proxies. I have to say, nobody proxied yet, because we know that at this level, almost everyone will scout for it. And if it's spotted, you should never expect to be able to beat a pro player who spotted your proxy. That only works against me on ladder.
All right, there you go. If you run into the alias XMG Todd, you know what to do. Double gas again from NaNiwa here. This is almost standard, so it's very difficult to read into this. On Belshire Vestige, are there any popular play styles on the European server that maybe you've seen some in Korean play also?
It depends on players. The thing about NaNiwa on this map is that he likes to go for blink. Even if it's not the first tech he will go for, he will always go back to blink. Or at least that's the trend he used to use a lot. I played him in some online tournament and at the DreamHack Open Stockholm. And when he goes for blink, he just takes an expansion at some point, throws down some extra gateways, and he just masses blink stalkers. And then he keeps on going for those attacks. And what he will do usually is blink 4 stalkers in the main to snipe probes and attack with everything else at the expansion. And remember, I think it was against Hazuops that he used this as well, and he lost. Hazuops was one of the only Protosses to be able to defend this strategy of NaNiwa. I lost every single time.
Some important information there to really think about there, guys, as the Stargate does come down here for duckdeok again. Exactly the same.
Quick expand for NaNiwa.
Well, from what my simple knowledge of StarCraft 2 is, a 1 gateway expansion, the strongest build against it seems to involve Stargate play, Todd.
I mean, there is a number of all-ins. The thing is, this Stargate is very early, and this is like the quickest target you can get. If duckdeok scouts the expansion of NaNiwa, he can just go for his own expansion and then keep on harassing in the same time with most likely Phoenixes. He might go for an Oracle first again. And hey, it does look like he's going to throw down a Nexus behind this. duckdeok, this is actually a very risky build. Look, he's scouted nothing. If there was a Zealot plus a Stalker and a Mothership Core headed to his base now, he wouldn't do very well.
Well, I mean, why has he decided to calculate this risk like this? Well, I mean, what benefits does it give him?
I mean, against some strategies, you're gonna die or fall very far behind, but against most of the strategies, say like 70 or 80% of the styles that NaNiwa might use, you're gonna be very far ahead. And I think it's one of those times where now he's gonna be ahead, because The first Oracle is going to do some damage, no doubt about this. He gets the robo behind this, and I mean, this is going the same way as the previous game, except that NaNiwa didn't open for Dark Templars this time, so I mean, he's not going to be in a super bad position, but it's going to come down to duckdeok initiative here.
Well, NaNiwa did decide to add on 2 extra gateways rather than the faster robotics facility, which is a very common follow-up to a 1-gate Nexus to be able to get out the Observer or Immortal or both. But he has Stalkers inside his main base, 2 already.
Yeah,
and with Warp Gates finishing up.
Oh, there's the Photon Overcharge up. And NaNiwa, I mean, he's not going to say, oh, there's some probes in the expansion.
Well,
he's evacuating.
He's evacuated and they will survive for now. But this Oracle hasn't really done too much here for duckdeok.
Yeah, I like how I said this was going to do damage for sure. NaNiwa actually having his units very, very well placed. And double Stargate goes down by NaNiwa behind this. I guess he watched Oz's game at the IM Shanghai because Oz kept doing this.
Well, the
this
Oracle
was so strong.
Broken, gets 1 kill. Maybe able to get a couple more here as it is being chased down. Gets 2 and a 3rd on the ramp by the looks of it. So 3 kills. Did definitely get some kills there for you, Todd. So, but the double Stargate, if that gets spotted here, this just changes the game completely.
Yeah.
But it's been pushed out by the Photon Overcharge.
Oh, and look at duckdeok's tech. He's getting the robotics bay. Oh wow, he's in for a very bad surprise here.
So is this a bit unlucky for duckdeok that he's chosen this tech? It must be, right? There's no information gathered by either player. NaNiwa's like, all right, well, he's got 1 Oracle. I'm going to try and surprise him here. And then, of course, duckdeok's playing into his hands.
Yeah, and NaNiwa, you know, he was one of the very first Protosses to do this in Europe. I remember I kept meeting him. The standard from Wings of Liberty was always to go for Colossus, but this double Stargate, it counters Robotics Bay and Colossus play completely. Like, it's almost impossible to win against it.
He's got to go in. He's got to spot this now. He's going to go in as Photon Overcharge. Well, at least sees 1 Stargate there.
NaNiwa doesn't see this. I can see you, but you can't see me. And he's gonna leave.
Oh, he leaves.
No.
Oh no, he comes back in. Okay, so he is gonna reveal that he knows, and he does get 2 last probes there before he does die. But now, all of a sudden, change. We have to see change.
You know what he should have done? What? Not reveal that he knew and gone for triple Stargates. Wow. He's getting Colossus.
That's like what? He's got another robotics. Oh wait, no, sorry, I thought it was another robotics. That's almost on the same level as you're sending the fake hallucinated Oracle, then sending the real one straight after.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I know, right? As Coach Todd eventually. Look at that. All these sneaky tactics. All right, so the Phoenixes do come in here. 1, 2, 3, almost catching up immediately with the ones that have been killed on the other side of the map now.
I don't understand. duckdeok, he has 3 Stalkers and 1 Sentry. He's not going to be able to defend very well against his Photon Overcharge being forced here, but I mean, the Colossus is going to be greeted by some Phoenixes.
But I mean, we haven't really seen any anti-air reaction here. The Colossus did survive, 15. Wow.
He attacked his own Colossus.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that wasn't the Phoenixes.
Oh, I thought that was the Phoenixes. I'm like, wow.
That's my move as well.
Those did a really good job. But duckdeok, he's just on gateways. He hasn't added any tech to help against these units. What is he planning to do? He's adding on more gateways here. He's at only 42 probes.
Yeah, I think he's either going to try to stabilize and take a 3rd or like play a standard game from there or go for timing. For now, he's fallen so far behind that I think this is going to be a timing almost 100%. But NaNiwa, he's getting Void Rays right now.
Yeah, this is just perfect from NaNiwa to be able to add on Void Rays. I'm finding a very hard time here for duckdeok to do well, simply because he just doesn't have that many Stalkers, and even if he does have Stalkers, there's Void Rays coming out now as well. And NaNiwa with a major supply lead. duckdeok's 66 supply starts to move across the map. Remember, duckdeok is currently winning or leading this series.
And NaNiwa knows this is coming. You know, he's not even bothering taking the watchtowers at this point. He's just staying back home with his units. He's going to keep on chrono boosting out those Void Rays. He's going to have 4, very, very soon, 4 Void Rays against 9 Stalkers.
Does he have enough? Because, I mean, surely you got to have some stuff under the Void Rays too, and there's not that yet.
He needs the Phoenixes, to be honest. He has only 2 Stalkers and 1 Sentry on the
Phoenixes are coming home. Photon Overcharge is activated here. Force fields are just going to kind of push NaNiwa away from defending this.
This Nexus is going to die.
Oh, NaNiwa can't afford it. The Void Rays are going to have to go in whether they like it or not. Here comes a time. Well, where are the Phoenixes? They need to pick up some of these units, and the Void Rays going absolutely berserk on these units. And here come the reinforcements. And up, 1, 2, 3, 4 Phoenixes pick up these Stalkers, and NaNiwa says, all right, well, this not too difficult.
Yeah, the prismatic alignment helping a lot here, but duckdeok reinforcing with more Stalkers.
Yeah, this is GG. There's too many units there. NaNiwa does tie this series up.
Very one-sided, to be honest, this last fight.
Yeah, very one-sided. And it all come down to really the double Stargate versus Robotics Bay Tech, and as you said, one is just simply better than the other.
Yeah, I was very surprised. duckdeok, he spotted this late, but not that late, to be honest. He could have made a Twilight Council, he could have gone into anything. Templars to try and defend the Phoenixes, going to Storm versus the Void Rays, but he chose to go for a timing that's never really had a chance, to be honest.
And with Stefano now being out and retired, it is down to NaNiwa to be that guy, to be that player that beats out these Korean players in these tournaments. And NaNiwa has been living up to that so far with a second place at DreamHack earlier on this year. And of course that third and fourth finish at the MLG. And we'll see if he can continue to well do. He is pegged as a favourite for this tournament as well by a lot of people. You think NaNiwa's a favourite to do well?
I've said it, he's a mystery. He could be one of the favorites. So far in the first game, he didn't look good, but in this second game, he played very, very well. The double Stargate transition was extremely clever, and in the end, it just paid off for him.
I really think if NaNiwa's not performing well, I don't think it's ever going to be a close series. I always think it's just like 0-3. If he was not playing well or feeling well today, I think it would be 0-3.
But don't you think that from one game to another, he can really change it up? Like, remember against Steffel, the first game, he played horrible.
Yeah.
Like the mistake moving across the map.
I think he can only get better. I don't think he gets worse. Unless something drastic happens. Don't throw anything at him, is a message to the audience. But we are now ready for this next map. Map number 3, currently 1 apiece. Sweden versus Korea. I've said that a lot over these past few years, and it does continue once again here, as down in the bottom left is the red Protoss. It is the Alliance NaNiwa. He's had some long finals, long semi-finals, long tournaments against a lot of different other Koreans, and here stands another one in his way, playing for Team MVP. It is duckdeok.
Sweden versus Korea to know who will represent Europe in the World Finals.
Yeah.
We need to find a name for finale. I found one for MC, you know?
What's MC's?
MC's Korean name is Jongmin Chol.
Yeah.
There is a French name that's Jean-Michel.
Oh.
It sounds exactly the same.
It does sound the same, especially with your accent too. duckdeok's name is funny that it is actually duck. It's funny that, isn't it? His name's Kyung-Duk Kim.
Hey, good luck with that.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be a difficult one. Kim, Kimberly, like I don't know.
All right,
Jean Duck. They're becoming very
John
French,
Doe.
these names. Jean Doe.
Jean-Luc.
So you've already claimed MC for French. You can't take another one. We've got of course Jürgen, the German. you've got Jean-Paul, whatever MC's name is the French one. And then we need to find a country for duckdeok. So send in your requests for where you want duckdeok to be from. Make sure to include the hashtag WCS. Choose the country you would like him to be. That's only if he does represent Europe, though. It doesn't count otherwise. But 2 different builds here. 1 guessed by duckdeok.
Yeah.
2 by NaNiwa.
This is a bit unusual. I guess he doesn't have to make the gas this early on. You can still make it after the cybernetic score.
He's
but
got
no.
a lot of cyber.
Oh, he's getting the
crowd
Zealot.
boost.
He might do some kind of a rush. Okay, never mind. He's getting.
Okay.
Well, he could still rush anyway.
Yeah.
Since he's getting the Zealot, this is almost never going to be a cancel. Actually, look at duckdeok's chrono boost.
Yeah, I feel like this. Well, I feel like this very well could be. It looks almost identical to the build that he used earlier on against Wellmu in the round of 16 here, which is obviously very focused on chrono boost onto the cybernetics core. But
is he going to chrono boost the Stalker as well? He could just rush with the Zealot, Stalker, and Mothership core, and try to trade, try to do some damage.
Oh well, it is rushed out here. It is Newkirk, so the Mothership core can make its way across here. Second chrono boost goes into the cybernetics core. And he is having a look inside NaNiwa's base. Does see all 6 probes in both of the assimilators here. Stargate thrown down there by NaNiwa, and that's going to get picked up quite easily, if not by the probe, but by the Mothership core if not.
Oh, did he spot it?
No, he missed it.
Wow, barely. And he's going to get out of there before the Mothership core can snipe the probe. So nicely done here by NaNiwa. Though, the Mothership core of duckdeok should be able to see the Stargate if he pokes in just a little bit.
But surely this 3 gateway pressure against 1 gate Stargate could be quite troublesome.
Actually, NaNiwa has no units that can attack air right now. So he saw the Mothership core coming, he cancelled the sentry and he started the Stalker, but this Mothership core of duckdeok, it could kill up to 5 or 6 probes.
Oh, and then 3 gateways down on the low ground too. I think that probe that escaped could definitely be building a pylon in the next couple of seconds here. NaNiwa, well.
The Stalker about to come out, but you know what? duckdeok is just gonna sack his Mothership core to kill more probes here.
But it's a Phoenix. What's a Phoenix gonna do against 4 gateways that are following up this?
Wow.
What really is he gonna do now? NaNiwa is facing trouble.
He's gonna cry, that's what he's gonna do.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not here. 6 probes have been picked off. 6 probes and it's only just over the 5-minute 30 mark here, and the
And he
Mothership
escaped.
Core escapes on top of all
Yeah,
of
but
that.
the Phoenix, though,
The Phoenix is going to chase that down.
he's not gonna cry at first. He's gonna laugh.
Yeah, and then he's going to cry. It's an emotional roller coaster here for NaNiwa, as he doesn't even know what his opponent's up to. With Chronomus going into the gateways as well, NaNiwa sends in the Phoenix, and his jaw will just drop once he sees this, with 5-6 Stalkers across the other side of the map.
He has the photon overcharge to buy himself some time, but once it expires, how does he hold?
Yeah, look at this. The probe and pylon inside the main base. He's got to be careful here.
NaNiwa, I think, did he cancel one Phoenix? He started the Void Ray immediately, which is the right decision here, but he needs extra gateways to hold this.
Well,
nice
nice force field there. Yeah, does trap that one Stalker. And escapes with the Zealot as well here. NaNiwa is going to have to try and make this hold possible. Oh, look at that. The Sentry gets picked off with more units getting warped in on the high ground. Photon overcharge only around roughly 15-20 seconds left on this. And the Void Ray. Will he have enough units with this Void Ray to make the hold here? There's going to be a lot more units coming in here for duckdeok.
It's going to be so hard. He needs a second one. With the second one, he would have a much better chance, but NaNiwa is on 1 gate and 1 Stargate against 4 gateways here.
Yeah, this is not looking good here for the Swede. We'll see if he can make the holders. Photon overcharge is down, and duckdeok goes in, targeting down the pylon. Now he focuses on the Void Ray, and well, the Void Ray's gone. And now the Phoenixes aren't left. Probes are coming off the line as well, and with continued reinforcements here, duckdeok is looking in absolutely wonderful shape to pick up number 3 here. GG, duckdeok takes a lead again.
Very quick game.
Very quick series, very quick day so far. And now NaNiwa is facing match point against MVP duckdeok. Just 1 game out of 2 that he needs to win.
Remember the build that duckdeok did in the previous games? The 1 Stargate and then Nexus, then Robo. And now NaNiwa was doing the Stargate. He hadn't thrown on the Nexus. Imagine, he died so hard now. Imagine if NaNiwa had done the same to duckdeok. I have to say, duckdeok, as good as he's playing so far in this series, he's getting very fortunate with the build orders.
Yeah, I mean, if we go from the very beginning of the series, DT versus Stargate there, which got spotted, because, well, not spotted, but with the water facility coming in, and then these last couple of games as well have just not been going NaNiwa's way. I guess the one thing that is going his way is it is a best of 5, not a best of 3, otherwise he'd be already dead. But he is going into the next map, Star Station. As a player yourself, what do you think's going through his mind here? You know, Star Station is next. He's trailing 1 game to 2.
He knows there's no room for mistakes, and you're gonna wanna go for a build order that will give you the most chance to win. And you can't accept the fact that you have to gamble, but you almost always have to gamble as far as openers go, as I mentioned. So he's really in a tough spot. He's gonna have to make a choice as far as build orders go, and he's gonna have to get a little bit more fortunate if he wants to have a better chance at taking down Finale. And on Star Station, I mean, still lots of possibilities.
All right, we'll find out as both players do now prepare for battle. They're loaded into the next map. It is going to be NaNiwa versus duckdeok for maybe the last time if the Korean's able to pick up the next map. NaNiwa needs to make the fight back, and he needs to make it now. Spawning down in the bottom left is the red Protoss. It is that man. It is the Alliance NaNiwa. And he goes up against a player that doesn't seem phased at all. Straight-faced, ready to kill. It is MVP duckdeok.
We saw a game on Star Station earlier, remember? And I mean, on this map, you can see Blink doing very, very well, no matter what matchup. I guess a little bit less against Zerg, but against Terran or Protoss, you have a lot of room to blink in and do damage. And MC really exploited that against well moves. So there is a good chance we're going to see some Blink play here out of those 2 players. But they both have this fact on their mind right now. So they know that, for example, if one of them goes for an expansion with some Immortals, although it's a good map for Blink, if you can get enough Immortals out, you're gonna almost, you're gonna win, auto-win almost every single time. So we're gonna have to keep a close eye at what they choose to do here, because this might really affect them. And both players scouting for proxies this time. Not taking any risks.
Not going to lose to those proxy gateways.
I just want to see one of the players not scout for proxy once,
and then it
he's
happened.
there.
And by the way, this series is going to probably be NaNiwa not scouting and it happening. Unfortunately, things aren't going his way. As we do have this probe by NaNiwa cutting to the right here, Todd.
Looks like what he did in the first game, but maybe this time with his target. He's definitely not scouting there.
Well, he's definitely not scouting there. He knows there's no close by ground positions, but his opponent could very easily be top left.
Yeah, usually if you do it here, it's a Stargate. Because like you see, it's much closer than what he did before on Deredict.
But it's a bit of a risk because I'm pretty sure this map you can spawn north of each other too, north or south. So he's got to be very careful with this. I mean, it's a gamble.
I think it's only cross.
I don't think so. I think so. Adabisi? Adabisi. Always there, the man in the background, making sure we don't mess up. Or
maybe it's not. He just wanted to upset you.
Maybe he's just saving the situation. But so we do have
Stargate.
Yes, absolutely Stargate. I 100% agree with you now.
This is going to be a very, very fast target with this build order. When you do it like this, second pylon out on the map. I mean, look, before 4 minutes. Behind this, usually you get a Stalker out when your Mothership Core, when your Cybernetics Core finishes, and you can just chrono boost to 1 and even 2 Oracles if you want to try and do some damage.
You brought up this point earlier, that NaNiwa would probably look for the most all-round complete build to give him the best chance to do well, which usually means a safer build that doesn't lose to an all-in. Can NaNiwa be playing, different levels of mind games, thinking his opponent could very well be saying what you just said?
We've seen NaNiwa do this before. Remember NaNiwa versus Jaedong in Game 3, going for the proxy, because he had identified what Jaedong was going for was weak against that. NaNiwa, he got balls of steel, and I mean,
really does.
He's not afraid to show it. He goes for builds like this that might be very risky, but that will counter his opponents a lot of the time.
Well, look at the Mothership Core from his opponent. duckdeok sending it south. He's got a sharp turn there. Lucky NaNiwa. We'll see if it misses this Oracle.
I'm interested about the second pylon. The second proxy pylon on the map. He could be throwing down some gateways there to keep up with the aggression after the initial Oracle.
Well, this is just completely dedicated to one base, if that's the case.
Twilight Council.
Oh, Twilight Council.
So Blink behind this, I think.
Wow, okay. Wow.
Oh, actually, when you go for this build order, this is so smart. duckdeok is gonna know he's against a Stargate. He might cancel his Robo, and then the DTs come in.
Lots of different options here as the Oracle is going to poke in. We'll see how this works out. He's going to get right into the middle line, and there are not a lot of units here, but at the same time, duckdeok is on the other side of the map with 2 Stalkers. Photon Overcharge, as you say, is activating. It is working on that Oracle, but it's up to 6 kills already, 7 kills before it does die. That is quite a lot at this stage of the game.
And the Dark Shrine has started. NaNiwa, he's anticipating his opponent to maybe cancel the Robo, which at this point, I mean, I would completely agree with duckdeok if he cancels his Robo, because, I mean, he's lost so many workers. He needs to take a bit of a gamble.
Is NaNiwa in trouble? He must have Photon Overcharge by himself here. Oh gosh, that was close. Starting to get a little bit stressed there, but the Photon Overcharge is on, but the Mothership Core is dead. NaNiwa is going to have to use 2 DTs in this situation. He's going to have to defend. He's building a Void Ray here. Is a Void Ray smart? That's quite a bit of money spent on that.
Yeah, I think he feels he needs it to hold. You see, it's rallied to his main, but he's only got 1 gateway. This Photon Overcharge will expire not too long time, and I mean, duckdeok we're gonna have a repeat of the previous game there.
Oh man, he's ready to pounce. Look at him, he's got so many Stalkers and the Photon Overcharge about to come short.
The Dark Shrine is 20 seconds from finishing.
Oh, the gateways. Okay, he's got 3 pylons around them though, but he does try it at least.
But the warping is forced, so NaNiwa needs to chrono boost his gateways, but he's got only 1.
Oh, this is difficult for NaNiwa. Remember, he's facing defeat here. 3 games to 1 if he doesn't make the hold.
And NaNiwa proxy the pylon down the...
Oh, NaNiwa just says GG, and duckdeok takes the win and moves on to the semi-finals and will be playing at the Season 2 finals. Not too long from here, duckdeok beating out NaNiwa 3 games to 1. And unfortunately, NaNiwa, they're not...
duckdeok thought about it.
Didn't want to, man.
He thought about it.
He was like, should I go? I don't know. Wow. I mean, what are your thoughts to summarize this series here? I mean, it was fast, it was brutal.
I like the idea, to be honest. Going for a Stargate like this and then hoping your opponent will cancel the Robo and maybe play a little bit defensive, but duckdeok, he lied in his interview. I'm sorry, but he lied. He's not a defensive player. He keeps on attacking. He's very unpredictable overall, but one thing that we know is that he likes to attack, and I mean, in this series, NaNiwa, he maybe hoped that duckdeok might play a little bit more passive, and things might have gone very differently if this had been the case.
Yeah, remember Alliance and the NaNiwa fans that tomorrow he does get the opportunity to still play in the Season 2 finals. He will get to play in the 5th and 6th placement matches, and there he has a hope. Yeah, that's right. A difficult game, no matter which way you look at it there. I think he'd be hoping for the Vortex game, and I'm pretty sure he'd be hoping for Grubby to do well in our next quarterfinal here. But yeah, I mean,
3 Koreans for 3.
yes, I had a feeling that duckdeok might do really well here, but as you say, 3 Koreans out of, all 3 of them, as you say, 3 out of 3.
We
in
need
the
a name for
quarterfinals. We need a name for him now. Now's the time to pick up those countries and send us a tweet and what you think or where you think he should be from. Todd's nicknamed MC. Jürgen is Jürgen, and now we need to find a name for duckdeok here. His middle name is
You
Doug.
give it a try.
Oh, it's so difficult. I know the first thing that came to my mind was Kimberly, but I don't think that's quite fitting. Last name being Kim. But anyway, it looks like the interview is ready with duckdeok, so take it away, Red Eye.
TV, Sean. I'm not sure what that's all about. Nevertheless, I am with the winner, duckdeok. Well played. Congratulations. It wasn't quite what you predicted before. You said that you were going to win 3-0. You won 3-1. So talk to us about the map that you lost.
여기 경기 하기 전에 3대0 이긴다고 했는데 3대1로 이겨서 그 한 판 진 거 왜 졌는지.
제가 다양한 전략을 사용하지 못해서 두 번째 판을 진 것 같아요.
다양한 뭐지?
다양한 전략이요.
다양한 게 뭐지? So where he couldn't use his bird, that's why he lost this. Not a safe bird, that's why he lost.
Okay. We don't really know you that well. We've had a small interview with you. We've had the video with you as well. Why have you adapted to Europe so well, do you think?
너 이때까지 잘 모르는 선수였는데 지금 여기 유럽까지 와서 근데 성격 잘 내고 있잖아. 왜 유럽 와서 성격 잘 내는지 이유 있는지.
이유라기보다는 그냥 제 실력이 최근에 좋아져서 이기는 것 같아요.
It's not that he adapted to Europe, or it's more that his skill level got better lately, and that's how he plays.
Okay. Do you have a favorite country, and if so, which one is it in Europe?
유럽에 좋아하는 나라 있는지.
예, 있습니다. 그냥 북유럽 여자들이
유럽 어디지?
예쁘더라고요.
나라 이름.
그래서
나라 어떤?
노르웨이, 스웨덴. 네.
It's Sweden.
Yeah, it's
okay, that was a long chat for Sweden, but okay, that's fine. So if you're out there right now, he's not called Kimberly. He's got to come up with a Swedish name if you want to nickname him. Final question for you. You said 3-0, of course, but did you honestly believe that it would be that straightforward?
너 대회하기 전에 3대0 이긴다고 해서 자신 있다고 했는데
네.
그냥 지금 3대1로 이겼는데 그냥 그렇게 쉽게 이길 자신 있었는지 그냥.
네, 경기 전에 원영이 형과 빌드 얘기를 많이 나누다 보니까 테일즈 선수 그 선수분께서 저한테 빌드를 다 가르쳐 주셨어요. 그래서 자신감이 생겨서 쉽게 이길 수 있다고 생각했습니다.
He was actually quite confident before the games. He said 3-0 because before he played against NaNiwa, he talked to Tails, MVP Tails, about build orders and how to approach the games. And it gave him a lot of experience and he felt really confident.
All right, well done, congratulations, you're through to the semi-final. Grubby or Vortex, tell me.
누군 안지? Grubby나 Vortex.
Anything.
Okay, all right, well, we'll see. This man's through to the semi-finals. 3 Koreans out of 3. We've only got 2 Europeans remaining, and they're going to come up next. It's Grubby versus Vortex coming very soon. First, though, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with match number 4.